Hello, 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 and we are back with another live stream, the 400 subscriber special. Now, I'm very well aware that we're already at, 421 last time I checked. So, still, we're celebrating the milestones, even though they might seem a little small for some, they're quite big for me. So, thank you all for making this possible. And, well, welcome back to the next part of our challenge, where we're playing on the Terrace map. And for those of you who haven't seen the challenge before, we're playing on this Terrace map with the constraint that we're not allowed to build anything outside that main plateau, except for our metal workers. And right now, we only have one little beaver over here to grab some scrap metal. Let me actually quickly check that. Yep, looks like my microphone is on and is recording. Alright, we have one little beaver, basically getting our scrap metal for now. This will probably need to be a little bit extended very quickly. And we're planning to build a pathway over this way, because the other thing that we're allowed to put outside of our main building area is a construction to get to some bad water. Now, we've created this little reservoir back here for bad water. Whenever a bad tide hits, we can fill this off. The excess will just flow out here. But it gives us enough to pump some of it out and have, access to explosives. All right. There's still a ton that we obviously need to do. Obviously, this will take a while to build, but I think it'll be quite nice once we get there. Nonetheless, that will just run in the background. I think what we want to focus on the most is just to make sure that we are getting enough food for our beavers, because it is looking a little bit grim. Water, I think, is still doing fine. We have the water pumps in this little corner. And currently there's only 2, so let's actually unpause the third one so they can build it. And with that, we should be okay with only 39 beavers, so 3 water pumps should be plenty to keep them supplied with water. All right, we do have a bunch of unstaffed buildings. All of the inventor huts are on the lowest priority. Probably to the excitement of don't know how to pronounce your name, Halsey, who suggested that in one of the last regular videos. But at least in this live stream, we've done it. Small progress, but important one. All right, let's start working on getting this area over here to be properly irrigated. That means we want to turn this entire path into a platform situation. So we have like a water stream or water branch that gets over to this area. So in order to do that, we need dynamite, obviously. And for dynamite, we only need bad water. However, for the platforms, which is much more important, or the tunnels, we also need extract. So we're going to unlock the centrifuge. Not this one, not this one. Wait. I'm in the wrong menu. Good start. All right. Let's place it down here. 600 science. Yeah, we have plenty of that. And then we're going to add the power connection out in the back here. Also making sure we do have our pathway over this way. So that's not a bad start. Okay. So they will be building this at some point. I probably need to slightly higher prioritize it, or actually slightly lower prioritize everything back here, which I think makes a ton more sense, because all of this should be happening in the background. Nothing super urgent for that. And once we get to that point, we can sort out the rest over on this side. During a regular drought, we'll need to quickly scoop in or swoop in and remove the few trees that are preventing us from building over here. So we have 1, 2, 3 open gaps currently in our levee system, levee dam piece, whatever you want to call it. So we definitely need to fix that. But that is, you know, much more future worries. All right, all of this is coming in. We're out of metal blocks, so it's time to also unpause some of, you know, well, not the gear workshop, the smelter to get the metal blocks in. Although we do also need some gears, so why not also unpause the gear workshop? All right, they're all sharing the bit of power that these two power wheels are creating. So the next thing that we also need to really figure out is how do we get additional power? And that's one of the reasons why we built this metalsmith here, because it creates metal parts, and in the newest update, the engine takes actually these metal parts. And yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. So in order to be able to build this over here, I would kind of want to, actually I think last time we opened up this position for a, let's actually, I think we had this open for the power supply, not for the centrifuge. But overall, I think we'll still be okay. What we can do instead, now the engine is not that small. Let's have a quick look. We could actually place it here with the opening on this side, so they have a much quicker path to get to the logs over here. And if we're playing our cards right, we should be able to connect this into the centrifuge over here, which I'm actually temporarily removing again, just so we can go ahead and build a vertical power shaft up here, and then the centrifuge should get the power from underneath. All right, so let's work on that. Meaning first, we need some platforms, one as an entrance, and then a few that connect over here. This will also need to be a vertical power shaft. So let's place you right there already. 40 science, easy peasy. And with that, we do have the connection that we need in order to get all of that stuff done over here. Also want to make sure that we allow our beavers to go underground. Well, not fully underground, under this platform mess, for lack of a better word. And then we're gonna hug the side of this road. That should allow us to make the power connection as well, all the way through without having to worry about well, blocking off anything. All right, I'm gonna set this, actually all of this, to the highest priority. I'd rather have you guys put it back in storage. There we go. And now we can also remove that one platform. Like I said, this will be replaced with a vertical power shaft, and already we have a perfect connection to our soon-to-be engine. I've been recording a little bit this morning, so I might just be a bit exhausted, so apologies for not finding the right words, which, you know, absolutely will happen. Yeah. Okay. This is coming along all right. They have picked up the last bits of the planks down there, so now we can put in this vertical power shaft here, and they're already building everything back there. Very nice. Gonna make sure the stairs are high priority, because these bits and pieces, they can, the power connections, they can build a lot quicker, although they should actually be able to get there even without those stairs, now that I think about it. Oh well. Can't hurt to have some of them around. And already done. Next step, like I said, we're going to add the engine in here. Yep, 400 science, absolutely. And then we're adding the one pathway that we need over here. Also makes me think I'm gonna place another platform right there. So we can place a small industrial pile right in front that will also store metal blocks. And I will actually set this on the highest priority. Not that it, yeah, it actually built everything already. Awesome. All right, now it's centrifuge time. So let's go ahead and place it back down after we have just removed it again. And that should give us all the material that we need in order to build up our well, additional power supply and then our tunnels to irrigate the entire upper island here. All right, sip of coffee, because it is coffee, cookies, and colony sim time. So yeah, can't do that without coffee. One thing that I really want to try out in today's episode is the automation part of the new update, because I think it will be actually very nice to get that done. And I'm thinking once we have some automation, putting in... okay, drought started, so that's okay. Can actually temporarily close you. So we keep a little bit more of the water storage in here. 16 days, not too bad. We should be fine doing all of this. However, we are out of power back here, which probably means, yeah, we're not gonna get to the centrifuge in time. However, what do you actually need? You also need gears. We can unpause our large power wheel. And I'm not too worried about having a lot of open positions. Most of them will be from our inventor huts. So that will slow our science production, but at least it will keep this going. So let's turn actually back on the gear workshop so we can produce the gears for the engine. And then we're also going to make sure that even with this not built in here, we get the power connection out to our other areas or our other industry area back here. And because everything back here is on platforms, it's easy to do. All right. Yeah, you should be slowly filling up with gears. I guess very slowly, that is fine. We have 2 industrial lumber mills working on stuff. Now that might be a little bit overkill, though actually you guys produce 345 beaver power. That's pretty intense, because both of these only need 150, you need 120, so we're at 270, which means we should also be able to unpause the smelter. But now I'm starting to be a little bit worried about our beaver supply. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Wait, is that the right amount? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty slots here and 4 empty slots here. 9 open positions. Yep, that's all of them. Good. All right. So what is there to do next? Well, because we're in a drought, we're also kind of waiting a little bit. We're still very low on the food supply. So it might be worthwhile to well, figure out how to solve this. We're still relying solely on kohlrabi because they are technically the most efficient early food that we could possibly use. So, however, it is rough. It is rough. I mean, something tells me they don't quite get to these last few up here. So maybe we can already preempt this by placing another farmhouse down to help this area out a little bit more. And even if it's just 1 worker in there, I think we'll be in a much better situation. We do have an injured beaver. Sorry to hear, mate. But we also have a good amount of the medical beds, so not too worried about any of that. And in the meantime, they can just keep building stuff. All right. Time for a bite of cookie. Okay, our engine is slowly getting there. Only 6 more gears, which shouldn't actually take too long. Well, I guess it's 3 hours per gear, so a full day, added day. But they've also placed down the farmhouse, which should help to harvest kind of a bit more of the overall area back here. And that again will be good for us overall. An additional bonus, once we have the platforms unlocked or the tunnels, we can actually run power lines through there. For those of you who have seen my my Ember Pelts series, you should kind of know that I like to put these power wheels underneath, or the power supply underneath, because it's much easier to connect all of this up. Actually, let me quickly check that I'm properly connected to the sound on my live stream, so I'm not just talking to myself. So give me just 1 second and then I will be back. All right, seems like it sounds good, so that's good to go. So back to what we were doing. Actually, the steam engine has come in the meantime, which is awesome. Remind me how much power you are actually producing. 0. Ah, you know why? Because this doesn't actually connect underneath, and definitely not where I placed this vertical power shaft. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's make that connection happen then. If we put platforms over here, remove this power shaft, replace you with a vertical one, and then put the regular ones on top, that will do. And then we're properly connected in here. All right, that shouldn't take too long to build, I hope. Let me make sure I will actually set this on highest priority, because then we can also free up 4 more beavers. And I would hope at least our beavers appreciate that. All right, still struggling to get enough food. I mean, none of them, no, some of them are hungry. We do have a little bit of storage. Let me actually add another beaver in here, because I still haven't touched the kohlrabi back here. So having just a couple more to help out, and they can actually reach almost everything. Crazy. It will be, anyways, quite useful. All right, we're also going to unpause the planks. The centrifuge. We do not need any metal blocks anymore at the moment, so I paused this one, which will allow, well, I guess we didn't need any more power supply to keep the rest going. But we almost have, actually we have all the metal parts that we currently need, so I'm going to pause this. And like I said before, we need 270 power for all of this, so I will actually reduce this until we're... yeah, we need all 3 of them. Actually, hold on. Your power output is 400. So all of you guys do not need to do the manual labor anymore. So that is quite exciting. Now we just need to make sure that we keep the log supply up. But for now, it looks overall pretty okay. And while we're kind of waiting for all of that, maybe let's start figuring out how we can add a bit more water storage on top of this. So easiest place to start, probably adding a double platform here. Now we would need to continue over this way, which makes me think I didn't place the bad water pump in the right direction. So let's remove you. And then we're adding our bad water pump in the direction that it actually needs to be in. Now there's a bunch of bad water that might actually, nope, that actually was already picked up. Pretty good. So in order to keep going this way, we will need another triple platform here, and that will be our connection in. And then from there, we need to move upwards. So easiest way, I think, to do this for now is we're gonna connect this up with smaller platforms, put the path in here, And then we could have our beavers kind of walk over this way. And we can build up more platforms in here. That is way too high. So, triple platform here, single one there, double one right in front, and then 2 triple platforms, I guess, on top of this. And that is a good way up for us. 1, 2, 3, to immediately end up on the top of our reservoir. And that will allow us to, well, ultimately just keep building everything up. We're removing all the paths already, so I can place down the levees. And I want to make sure that our beavers don't get stuck. So we're going to be very strategic about this. We're going to place 1 levee here already. And then we can actually start with 1 levee right there. Set both of these to the highest priority, because once this is done... Actually, maybe not even here. Move you and place you here on highest priority. Will definitely be safe for them to not get stuck. I say this, however, beavers are particularly good at getting stuck in places. So, yeah, not going to throw it too far off. It might just be that, well, they get stuck. Anyways, here we go. Levees are in, which means I can fully place the entire levee system around here. Now, how tall do we need to go? I think it's 3 levels high. So that means, excuse me for a second. There we go. That means that we can put our triple platforms all the way around here already. And that will allow me to place the rest of the levee system a little bit easier. Something I recommend to do regularly is kind of just expand your water storage from season to season. Now, oh, hey Canadian Syrup Mapper. Yep, I used your full name on this. Welcome to the live stream. We've started expanding a little bit over here. Created actually an engine to use up some of our precious logs and slowly making our way towards our centrifuge so we can build some tunnels and move over here. I've also placed an additional farmhouse there to help with the harvest over this way, and I think that was quite necessary because we were a bit low overall on the food supply. All right. And then I was like, you know what, let's put in a bit more water storage because this will not be the longest drought we're going to experience, and I'd rather not have all of our beaver colony die anymore. Might still happen, but, you know, one step at a time. All right, another 3 layers on top. Does actually remind me, you then also need to be a fill valve. There we go. And that should do the trick for us. All right, and with that, they can just keep building. Just need to keep an eye overall on the log supply and of course a little bit on the water supply, but overall, I think they will do just fine. Oh, and look at that, the centrifuge is in, which means we can go ahead now and unlock the tunnels and make sure our beavers 2000 science, we have 2800, perfect. But with this, we should be able to irrigate the entire back area here, which I think will be pretty awesome. There we go. Let's see if that is enough. I will set these on the highest priority because I think having more area for us to build more food supply, definitely worthwhile. Might not be worthwhile though to place all the tunnels in this direction. So for now, let's remove this part and then see if we're gonna add another little lake or something over in this corner. How's your weekend going? Okay, and they're already working on all of the tunnels, but I did just realize I never put down the dynamite factory. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's go ahead. High priority on this one. Let's put all of this to regular priority again. We don't need to put our material in. This is what happens when you take a break in the middle of a game, or a longer break in the middle of a game. That is not a proper series. So let's see. Need to go into landscaping, explosive factory, 400 science. Yep, we can do that. We do need a bit more science then to actually unlock the dynamite. Actually, we don't need to unlock this because we have unlocked the tunnels. They should be able to place these once the explosive factory is in. Huh. I never thought about this, but it actually doesn't make sense. Once you unlock the explosive factory, the basic dynamite should be unlocked by default. Because you can just skip that and go straight to tunnels, which is using dynamite. I guess I'm also just playing it a little bit weird. All right. Let's have a look what our beavers are up to. They're building all of this up here. Pretty good. We could use some more workers, but we also just need... No, we don't need science, like I just said. However, we're currently still 4 workers short. So that makes me think it might be time to... oh, can we unlock the... This is 1,000 science. We can't unlock that yet. But the advanced breeding pod... Oh, it also needs treated planks, of course. And we haven't unlocked that yet, so we're already at 2,000 science for the advanced breeding pod. So that ain't happening. Alright, instead let's put down a normal breeding pod. And then increase, actually, no. Pause. We don't have enough water supply for another regular breeding pod. We're already at kind of cap. Now, our water pumpers are working a little bit better because we're already at well-being of 11, which means they're working more efficiently. Working speed plus 40%, that's pretty good. And so each one of these would actually supply more than 15 beavers to begin with. So maybe for now we'll leave it at that. Once we're unlocking a bit more farming area, that's when we're going to start expanding, because this entire area back here, not just for farming, but we can also then finally use it for food production, because we can get the power supply where it actually needs to go. Yeah, I think overall it's fine. It's fine. Reassuring myself, you know, beavers will do what they need to do. Right, at least the drought is almost over, so I'm excited for that. And we do need to start looking into automation at some point soon. So, since manual controls signal, I have not worked with automation yet. What would be nice is to get a weather station, but obviously that also needs treated planks. Chronometer. If we do that, we could have our engine work through the night and power a number cruncher instead of having these inventor huts, and that would probably produce more power, enough science, sorry, than, or more science than our current inventor huts would actually do. So why don't we already lay this out? Just so we are ready when the time comes. Okay. But if we want to do all of that, we would need to unlock the number cruncher, which is 1,500. That's a lot. And yeah, we don't have the science for that. All right, drought is over, which means this should start filling up again. And I'll set you back to unlimited. So all the water will actually just flow out here from the top, which will be quite nice. Let's have a look here. I should probably at some point just install the mod to remove nighttime. Like, I like the visuals, but when I play during the day, it is way too bright in this room. Water is tipping over again, which means this power is being used. And I wonder if I can actually just pause. I will actually pause you, because we don't need to overproduce the power. How much power do you need? 200. 200 is actually a lot. Because you guys, you're not at maximum production yet. I guess that kind of makes sense. We could also just go ahead and place one large power wheel up here. That would probably help us if we connect it in properly, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Maybe we should do that. Why is it red though? Oh. Is it because it's because of the fill valve? I guess so. But we can place you here. It's not as ideal. No, it's actually still just perfectly fine. All right. You know what? Let's add you here. And then just connect it up. Vertical power shafts over this way. And then if you guys can actually reach all of this. Awesome. And then we're just connecting this through here underneath our engine right there. Only need to make this path go take a different corner. It's still all connected. And we will, yeah, that didn't work. I did get a new mouse, but apparently I'm still struggling with, you know, making it work smoothly for me when it comes to like clicking around. Anyways, that might just be the game stuttering a little bit, which, you know, happens. I have just noticed, excuse me, the breeding has been halted, and the reason for that is we do not have enough berries. Because we were short on food, and we're still short on food, our beavers are actually eating the berries instead of reproducing or creating more baby beavers. Now that's not great. How much extract do you actually store? Oh, you guys can already fill all of this up. Very nice. So I don't need to worry about any of that. But I do need to change a little bit the priorities around. Let's make sure we get enough power. So we're prioritizing the large power wheel that we've just placed. And we should probably prioritize the explosive factory as well. Now you need gears and metal parts. So let's unpause the metal part person again. The gear person is still working. So that's not too bad. We currently still don't have any storage for metal parts or like more storage for gears. But I guess that is just okay for now. All right. Log supply kind of still looking okay. We're going to be using up a ton in this large power wheel, but that also means for longer we don't actually need to activate the steam engine. And yeah, saving us some more logs to actually build all of this up here. So I think that's a good start. You might disagree. All right. So what should we do next? Well, I feel like don't overdo with giving beavers commands of doing stuff, because we're still short on beavers. Bat tide is approaching now. I'm curious how long this one's gonna be. If it's gonna be extremely long, we might be in a bit of trouble. But, you know, we'll see. All right. Yeah, the biggest worry that I still have at the moment is just the food supply. One thing that we haven't even considered putting down is mangrove trees. They do produce some food, not a ton to be honest, but maybe once we have all of these tunnels in, we could create a little mangrove factory space back here, and that might actually be the perfect space for it. We're continuing this out, and if I actually remove the tunnels, those two tunnels, and instead run them along here, that also probably means I can remove these tunnels. So if we instead go ahead and place them over there, all the way back here, we can then hollow this area out. It should be supplied by the foresters. Well, yeah, looks about right. And once we plant the mangroves, they can grow. We can put a Gavra flag somewhere here. And, you know, that should just do the trick. We can then also carve out a little area for later to plant down some coffee, because, you know, coffee is always very important. Could do it just like that. For now, let's plan like this. But at that point, we probably need to go underground and, you know, do some proper subterranean farming. All right, why? Oh, no recipe selected. That makes sense. It won't. There we go. Something is still weird with my game. I need to check out what it actually is. Right, we are now producing explosives, which is awesome, but that also means we will have more injured beavers than we really want to. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're placing down a couple more medical beds. And yeah, I'm immediately placing 2, just to be on the safe side. And with those coming in, we should see that area back here properly irrigated. All right, also need to go ahead and make sure we're raising this when it's time. I'm not gonna wait till the very last second because I don't want the other side to overflow. So let's pause the game, raise this gate, and then find the other one. I think I just saw it. Oh, it's right here. I'm gonna lower you, making sure you are on the highest level. Good. And we're setting the top fill valve to, I guess, pause. No, actually, not this top fill valve, this one. To the target height of 0. All right. Which means this should, yep, it is filling up and overflowing. Perfectly fine. We also need more bad water, but we actually have our bad water pumper in here, and they can get right to it. Awesome. So doing pretty okay, I would say. 10 days of bad tide? Yeah, easy peasy. However, now we need to start our steam engine. And maybe we'll pause our gear workshop. Don't need any more gears right now. We don't need any metal right now. We're probably okay in terms of extract for now as well. And that freed up as many beavers as we needed to have all of our buildings finally staffed. Now that hasn't happened in a while. All right, dynamite is coming in, and they're actually making progress here already. So I like seeing that. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the power connection right where they belong, underneath the road. Water and power underneath the road. And highly recommend watching City Planner Plays. Really cool stuff on city skylines too. And he has actually taught me a ton about principles of city building. So, where were we? Breeding is still halted for everyone. We're still really low on food. Whew. So what we might actually want to do is stop planting new kohlrabi over here and start switching out this area for cassavas. And then we just need to put a fermenter in whenever we can. Hoping that will be all right. We can actually already increase the overall layout of this. There we go. The big question is, where would be a good spot for fermenters? So I guess if we're planning in terms of tunnels, we would want to put tunnels over here. And if we're then going ahead and adding one more, then actually you don't need to be a tunnel. And we do have the science to unlock the single dynamite, so let's do that. So once this is done, we can put in our fermenter hut over this way. Now this might have been a little bit too early to put in cassavas. We'll see if that is true. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? All right, we're also just gonna make sure that we do have as much of the cassavas as we can possibly put down. However, it's not looking good in terms of food. Nobody has died of hunger yet, so I call that a win. Although they all seem to be pretty starving and thirsty and whatnot. I guess we could lower the work hours by 1. At least then they have the time to drink stuff. But we're very quickly gonna run out of adult beavers. Because currently like I said, we're not producing any blueberries. And we need them for our beavers. Alright, let me actually go ahead and high prioritize this strip right there. I guess as well as this explosive. Just so we can make sure we get to the cassavas as soon as we possibly could. Or at least get this watered up as quickly as we possibly could. Makes me also kind of think what we could do over here actually. If we're putting down a tunnel after all. Oh, we only... No. Do we need... Actually, I could just remove this. Sorry. I know you were just... No, you were just hanging out there. Okay. I can place down the dynamite here. So that would be 2 of our... fermenters. We can add a third one in the back here if we wanted to. So all of this could just be regular dynamite, and then I can place the mini platforms, the individual platforms on top myself. Do you actually have... You have all the bad water? Why are you not working? You don't have enough bad water. What are you doing? Why aren't you... Okay, let me pause this. Something's not kosher over here. Okay, it is actually going down. So why aren't you pumping? There shouldn't be anything underneath, right? To prevent you from doing so? No, there isn't. What is going on here? Yeah, he's just sat around. Oh, it's a deep water pump. I put in the wrong thing. God. Alright, let's set this to the highest priority. Do we have the metal parts that we need? Well, not in here. Yeah, but we do have the metal parts that we need. That was silly of me. Alright. This might actually cause some beavers to die. Poor beavers. Because that slowed down our farming expansion here. I mean, we could put a temporary fermenter in. You know what? Let's do that. If we're doing this, and then set you to build or create fermented cassavas, I think that is a better call than waiting for the rest to just happen. How long until the cassavas actually grow up? 60%, 70%, so a little bit longer. I don't like to see them all that hungry. Oh boy, oh boy. Maybe planning too many things at once, like usual. Okay, the fermenter is almost done. I will pause you as a workplace. No need to have you do any work until they start harvesting some of this. However, before the day is over, the first cassava should actually be coming in. And didn't I set you to a recipe? Come on. There we go. Yeah, not entirely sure what that was about. Alright, let's unpause you. You turn 4 cassavas into 10 food. So maybe you are actually a little bit more productive technically than the kohlrabi. Okay, I actually want you guys to do a 24-hour shift, because the cassavas are coming in. And we should have at least 4, maybe? Maybe not. We have 3 cassavas. Ah, bummer. Alright. Back to bed, everyone. Hope in the next, next day we get much more cassavas on the go, which means our fermenter should be doing some work. And are you actually getting any bad water now? Yep, you are. Good. Good. All right. Making progress. Somewhat. Yeah. Talk about stressful. All right. Nonetheless, we're getting some food. Food is always good, so let's call this a win. Because, you know, we're not calling it a win, it's just nothing. Alright, they're still working on the connecting piece here. Waiting for the dynamite, I guess. We don't actually need to have these ones over here, since we need to go with our platforms or our tunnels in this direction anyways. So let's free you guys up. Add the connecting piece in here. Yeah, and that should help. It should help. Alright, more cassavas. Somebody died because we didn't have enough food. Cassavas didn't come in quick enough. Bummer. But I think now we're in a better situation where we're creating at least a little bit more food based on the fermenter hut over there. Just a little bit though. Maybe we could have ultimately placed another farmer's house up here and utilized this area. Is it worth it? Do we need it before we actually connect through here? Might actually be. What if we set you to the normal priority and you guys underneath here to the highest priority? Wait, are you fully connected through there already? Oh, you are connected. Okay. I guess there's a little bit more farmland now, even though it's not that much. At least not yet. So, should we... I mean, we had one beaver starve. Maybe we're fine. Maybe we're fine. I guess in part the death of old age that's coming along as well. Yeah. It's just because there's not enough food. Right. They are making progress over here though. Why did I never connect this up? I don't remember. So let's make sure there's another tunnel over this way. And then that we set up this area to be higher priority. Okay, bad tide at least has ended. Let's go back down. All of this is blue water now. So we can close up this one. Open up this floodgate. And I'm very excited at some point to actually have all of this automated. It will make life so much easier. Set you to unlimited for now. And we're still... Okay. The farmland is coming in for the cassavas. So that's good. That is good. Okay. First dynamite is in as well. Should actually probably high prioritize you. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's because it's fully flooded now. Yeah, at some point. Oh, you know, it's actually doing okay. Can't really complain. Let's reset. Oh no, we are already resetted on height. Why are they building all of this over the stuff up here? Oh, I know why. Because I never put a path in on top. So they can't reach it. That makes a ton of sense. fully connected all around so they can focus on finishing the expanded reservoir. Food is still pretty bad. Yeah, still not enough cassavas in here. We have 3 dynamites in here, so let me actually blow this away. And then we're setting this up to be regular platforms. More dynamites are in. So let's keep this going. Yeah, should also click on the platforms. Oh, actually, you should not be a platform. You should be a vertical power shaft. And then we can create the power connection underneath here, just like we discussed earlier. From here all the way to the front. I should have actually paused the steam engine as well. We didn't need that excess power. But that is coming in nicely. Also want to make sure you guys are on highest priority. I guess we could set you guys underneath here also on slightly higher priority, not on the highest. There we go. Last piece of dynamite in the back here. Means we can make a little bit more space, and that will be the space that we will utilize for our fermenters. Cassava production, well, he does have enough cassavas to keep working, so that's not bad. But overall, still not great. Still really low on food. However, no other beavers have died of food. We had a new birth, so that's a bonus. Prioritized by haulers. You as well, please. But it will take a little while before our berries grow up. Alright, this over here is in though. So let's explode the dynamite away. Put in the single platforms on top. And a pathway. Actually, why not just keep going and build it all the way to the end. There we go. Then you're up on the high priority now. Because then we can also move our fermenter from back here to over there. Which I think will help as well. And all the cassavas is coming in now. I'm very excited. Still doing okay. We have lost a good amount of beavers though. And not like replenished them with our breeding pods. However, once the food supply with the cassava stabilizes, I think it will only be a matter of time before we have our full system back up and running. So, placing 2 more of them in there. Actually, let's pause the one in the back, but make sure the one in the front here is on highest priority. Right now, we do have actually enough cassavas to potentially have both of them running. Alright, drought has happened. I'm gonna pause the fill valve just to keep a little bit more water in here. 21 days. That'll be tight, but you know, doable. And of course we need to turn on our steam engine because otherwise our fermenter won't actually do anything. Alright, fermented cassavas, here we go. You are powered. Awesome. And you are producing already. Awesomer. Good. And look at that. All of a sudden we have a little bit of food. Actually, enough that one of our breeding pods started producing again. So that's not bad. With this drought though, being now 20 days, I might want to prioritize the construction of the expanded reservoir. Because, yeah, I think that will help us a ton. And whoever's watching, feel free to interact, suggest some stuff, or if I'm missing something, please let me know. I would like our beavers to not all die. But, you know, maybe personal preference. I think the biggest problem that we currently have with finishing that reservoir is the amount of builders. But I'm not entirely sure how we could replenish them with the current situation, or with the current infrastructure. Well, I guess situation is the right word. Oh, look at that. Morning has arrived and we actually had still a bunch of kohlrabi in place. So I do appreciate that. Probably also need to think about any work on underground farm. Well, yes, that will be kind of the next stop. I guess we do have a bunch of explosives now. So let's see, where would be a good way of actually getting underground? Maybe we should utilize this area right here. Yeah, why not actually? Why not? 1,300 science is available. So we can save some of the explosives for 900 science. Let's see, if we place you here, we can go one level down. Actually, that should work. So yes, we're placing the double dynamite here, single dynamite there. And ideally I would like the triple dynamite over here. And this way we're slowly gonna make our way to some underground farming area. But oh, there we go. No real need on high prioritizing this, but I guess why not? We could also, and probably should also, build a little bit of dynamite storage. Yeah, and this is where we should also consider putting out some overhanging platforms to make a bit more space for ourselves. So let's see. That's a lot of science for this stuff. What about here? That is actually only a 2x2 area for us, so that's not big enough. We could place something here that's a little bit too far away for my taste. Yeah, maybe we'll be fine. All right. So let's go ahead and plan sort of this underground farm space. So we need to get at least 3 down. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually put another double dynamite on there. So the idea is that what I just didn't make any sense. All right. Because basically I need a single platform in here. Because we're not going to unlock the corner staircase. So let me go ahead and even this out. Double dynamite here, single dynamite there. And then we're going to keep doing this around. I prioritize you. There we go. And then we're filling at least one of them up with a triple platform. This will then probably become a double platform, and this way we at least get to the level below that where we need to be. let's go ahead, triple platform in here. So this way our forester can still reach everything without like completely cutting him off. Dynamite is in. Very good. Running a little bit low on the extract. Oh, I do still have 16, so kind of want to play the 16 meme now. Been watching way too much Real Civil Engineer lately. Right. There we go. Actually, considering this is only 1 deep, we should be fine with just 3 levels down. And then we can start working on the underground farms. Food has massively balanced out. Look at that. Short hiccup, and then, you know, all better. Okay. Also tells me, though, we need more storage, like I said before. Before I figure that out, let's... Oh, that was interesting. Let's make sure we're fixing sort of the level that we need to go down here. Okay, this should be all ready to be placed in there. Let's also set this to the highest priority. And I guess I don't need to set you on a high priority for now. All right, once we are down here, let's actually plan a little bit ahead. So this will become a staircase. We can then put a tunnel piece in here. Put in, and then we actually should probably just be able to move out this way. Now there is a system where if you dig too far apart, your entire surface area will actually collapse. So I just want to make sure we're not hitting that, because that would be a bit of a shame. Yeah, not like that. For whatever reason, my computer is stuttering. All right. So that could actually be a decent underground farming space. However, our buildings need a bit of space on top, which I think we should actually still have. Yeah. So if we are going to move over here, and actually just place one like this, and maybe we need a second one, a second farm here. Might need to then explode one level up, but not just might, we definitely will. How do I plan for this? All right, old school, using my finger, pointing at my screen. And I think, I don't quite know, this doesn't sound right. This might be correct. And I think I'm off by 1. I am off by 1, but only 1. Wait, I'm also going in the wrong direction. Destroy all of this again. And then 1 above. Okay, I can actually just plan this out from here, 1 over, and then 1 down. So 1 over, 1 down, and then a double 1 here. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another double 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another double one. All right, that should be the space that we need in order to put our farmhouses in. So, I guess I didn't need all that dynamite down there. Hold on, hold on. You are not deep enough. And that makes me think we probably need another piece over here. Okay, staircase there. And we definitely need another tunnel there. And then let's go down a little bit. So this will become a staircase, which means we should add a little bit more tunnel on this side. I don't know if you guys feel that stuttering or actually notice that stuttering. Very weird. Right, anyways. Explosive still being produced. I will restart the centrifuge. Oh wow, we're actually really low on beavers. They all just died of old age. Time to unpause that breeding pod. Actually set you on the highest priority. Gonna make sure that we actually have some beavers doing the work. That completely removed our haulers. I'd rather pause our lumber mills, because we do also have 400 planks. That's an insane amount. But I think it's still okay. I hope. Could also now probably lower one of you guys. Maybe two. One in each farmhouse. Just need to keep an eye on our food production. That we now have 9 unemployed beavers. We got our haulers in again. That's good. And our baby beaver production is running. I want you guys to actually finish that so I can keep building. We're also, I think, out of bad water back here. Which means that will be it for a while. In terms of explosives. Bummer. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright. Alright. Still doing somewhat okay. You paused? Oh, right. They now auto-pause when there's no power demand, which is really good to see. Okay, all of that is in. I guess we'll already high prioritize the tunnel. And then at some point we need to figure out a way to get water supply underneath here. But that shouldn't be too hard, because we can actually place our water supply underneath these middle strips. And then ultimately we also just need to see if we actually need to explode this one level down. That does remind me, maybe before we build the tunnel pieces up here, we wait and see, just to make sure that our crops don't actually need a double space, and then build more stuff from there on. All right. This is coming in now as well. Could now remove that platform, which also just means everything. I think it's okay actually to remove this platform. Doesn't matter that the one above it will collapse as well, because it should have enough support. And then we can add Stutter. One more. Hello? One more staircase in here. Good. All right. Let me actually give me a quick second. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not running out of space. Nah. All good. Okay. Good. Some beavers are growing up. More are born. So we're replenishing our stock. Probably shouldn't call our beaver stock. Now we're making overall good progress in terms of science. So we could consider unlocking the number cruncher soon. But if we want to do that, we need more gears. We definitely have enough planks. I think we're storing some over there. Yep. That's absolutely where we're storing the planks. I guess I never reactivated you. Well, for now, that's fine. So if we want to store more gears, I guess I could just put a couple more single level or single square warehouses down. Store a lot of 30 gears per warehouse. Would need 100 for the number cruncher. Yeah. I think we're gonna leave it as it is. Okay. You can kind of see we're starting to run a little bit low. Now this was a 21-day drought, which means our reservoir might handle 25 days. But anything above that will actually cause a ton of trouble for us. So it's probably worthwhile to make sure they high prioritize wrapping up the entire reservoir up here before we do anything else. Back to bed. It's nighttime again. Still doing great in terms of food. Makes me think I can probably reduce the amount of workers in here by one, giving us a bit more builders to get this done a little bit faster. Because I would love to have that additional storage before the end of, or close to the end or the beginning of the regular season, the end of this drought. Also for the underground farms, we just need a ton more explosives. So I'm kind of hoping for another bad tide. Because this project over here will still take a ton of time to get more bad water over to our main area right there. But yeah. Figuring it out. Slowly, but figuring it out. We could also consider making our beavers live a little bit longer now. Let's see, we would need to go to level 17. That's only another 3 levels of happiness. What can we build that will make them happier? I mean, a shower would probably be nice. I think they would enjoy the wet fur perk. And that's kind of cheap enough. Yep, not up here, right there. Well-being, shower, and it is a double shower. So that should be, you know, plenty of space for our current population. All right, in addition, we could unlock a beaver bust. We do have exactly 2 metal parts, so let's do that as well. The question is more like, where are we gonna place it? We have a beaver statue here, the regular brazier here. I'm thinking maybe further above. That could work out quite well for us. Let's have a look. If we were to place the beaver bust has 2 reach in each direction, so actually on top of this path would also be just fine. And then I guess oh no, the bell actually adds some aesthetic too. Cool. How much is the bell? Metal blocks, we do have that. We do have the planks. Okay. So let's go ahead and add another layer of happiness in the middle here. Making sure we can high prioritize that. And then under decorations, a beaver bust in this direction. And a bell right behind them. Yeah, probably not like this. It would swing into the house. So let's do that. Then we're going to set both of these on the highest priority as well. Makes me also think, instead of the highest here, let's go with the second highest, because it pays off if you work with the game in terms of all the levels of priority that it has to offer. Alright, we're out of bad water, which means I can remove you from the explosive factory. We'll also speed up our science production, so not too bad. Can also now unpause one of our lumber mills. Because why are you actually still producing 100? Oh, right, because of the fermenters. And we definitely want to keep those running. All right. Oh, good. All of these are in. Let's have a quick look. Come on, let me select one. There we go. 17, 40% lifetime. Awesome. That's definitely useful for our beavers. Look at that. Average happiness well-being is now 17. And we didn't even need the shower. So let me pause this because the shower will use up some water. And as you can see, we actually see the floodgate over here. So yeah, that extension up here, definitely needed. Okay. Unfortunately, the work on the underground farm will have to wait until we have access to bad water. More reliable access to bad water, I guess. And that will be a while. Let's set you back to unlimited until all of this is kind of sorted. I will also pause that levy just above, because otherwise it might actually... No, actually, if I keep you on unlimited, it should be fine. Because the water is not tipping over when we reach that level. So yeah, like I said, should be fine. Should be fine. Right, 37 beavers. After the next beaver is built, maybe in here. Yeah, I'm calling it built. We're going to pause one of the breeding pots again. Need to be very careful not to overpopulate, although we do have enough food. Look at that, they can't even keep up with all the kohlrabi. Looks like we could actually use a little bit more of the cassavas. Although we do have one of the fermenter at capacity already. Huh. All right. Stuff is tipping over with the water, so we can pause our steam engine. And look at all the unemployed beaver. Oh, that was just temporary because stuff was flooded. I'm gonna unpause another lumber mill though. Just so we can keep stocking up on our planks. And our beavers can still finish building all of this. Yeah. It's kind of the downside of building a reservoir like that so high. They kind of need to just walk around on the top. And not much else is then happening. Let's have a quick look there. Didn't get very far, but honestly, we're almost there. I'm kind of excited to see if this is going to work out. I hope so. Okay, power production in our power cycle, whatever, is good enough. Maybe it is time to actually unlock the number cruncher. Even if we can't time it yet in terms of when to activate, although the chronometer doesn't actually cost that much. Maybe that should be our first priority. Having said that, I just saw the next drought is approaching. I don't think they're gonna finish this. Which, if this next drought is much longer than the previous one, like I said before, we'll be in a bit of trouble. So I need to keep an eye on when we get close to the end of the drought that I close this fill valve. So we can add the additional half height in here in the hope that this will make a difference. Yeah, I'm actually surprised we're doing okay in terms of lumber. Did not quite expect that. Right, I'm gonna give them a couple more days of 18-hour shifts, but yeah, they still won't finish that. Oh no, the average happiness has gone down. Seriously? I guess we could extend or add a roof on top of this. Can we actually... Yep, we can build just on top of that. What I would like to see though is to have a rooftop on top of the rooftop terrace. And you can actually build that, right? If you're adding, I don't even know if you would just need to add one of these. Yeah, only one will be enough. And then you, well, obviously it needs to be the 4 wide one. And if we do that, they should be able to build the roof on top of this. 1,000 science. Is it worth to just get a little bit more of rooftop happiness in there? I don't quite know. But we can definitely head over this way. How would we do that though? I guess if I add a double one here, or actually just go over this way. Oh. Yeah, let's figure this out later. I mean, I shouldn't be too against just putting down a roof and then removing it as well. So let's do that. It's much cheaper than what I initially planned. So let's set you guys on the highest priority. Might need to temporarily remove the scratcher Although, looking at this, it might not be so temporary. We could just put the scratcher over here. And then we can add another rooftop terrace right next to this. Okay, I actually don't hate that idea. So, well-being, butt scratcher. Oh, shoot. And I completely forgot to block this. 19-day drought, though, so we'll definitely manage. And by the end of this drought, they should have this entire area built up here, which, again, definitely for our benefit. Did we ever? Yep, we do have the log storage right in front, so that shouldn't be too bad. We do need some water storage close by, which we could actually place over here. This way the pathways to restock our engine won't be as far. And again, a bit of extra water storage can't hurt. We're still in that process where I basically have zero water storage. I look at this. These two water tanks are doing so much work for our colony. It's crazy. Anyways, where were we? Over here. Right. I do need to now remove the butt scratcher and then put a path in over this way. And this rooftop at some point will be replaced with another rooftop terrace. And then, like I said, the roof on top, just like, like I just discussed. Kind of makes this poor beaver statue look a little bit sad in here. Maybe in the future we'll figure something better out to do with it. But for now, I think it'll be fine. Okay. How are you guys coming along actually with over here? Zero progress, which I guess makes sense. When we get here, we also need to just make our way up. Which I think means we're temporarily canceling the demolition here. And we're already gonna plan a staircase in here. Put another staircase here. Let's have one going in the back there. And then we can actually... What am I pausing here? Why is this one paused? Not entirely sure. Alright, I don't want to build down yet until we actually have all this pathway over. Because then during a drought like this, I can quickly place a staircase, have our beavers run around, take all the trees down, and then we can deal with the rest. So what I need to do in order to build the entire rest up here, though, is make sure they have a pathway over so they can build that dam structure from the top. And then all we need to really do is connect this up with paths so they can keep building all of this. Good. They can technically also run back and build the additional double, triple levee layer over here from both sides. But yeah, future worries, future worries. Alright, not the most exciting gameplay at the moment. But we are getting there. Look at that, the rooftop is in. Happiness is still not super high. I guess one campfire is not doing the trick anymore either. Which I think means we just need to unpause the shower so they can get a little bit of extra happiness from there. And then we need to figure out one more piece of happiness for them. So let's go back into decorations. Clock. actually apparently really nice. So yeah, let's just build one. Easy enough, single platform here. That will give us a bit of space for a clock. Clock is, no, that's not the clock. This is the clock. Cheap enough, 600 science, 2 metal blocks, we got that. We got the gears, we definitely got the planks. So let's place you here. And that again will make our beavers a little bit happier and increase their lifespan. You have nothing to do. We don't have any more storage, so I'm going to pause you. But the extra space for our reservoir is coming in, so that won't be too long. And then we have 8 beavers working on that levee system, not levee system, platform system over here that will ultimately help supply us with infinite bad water. Because we are playing the Ironteeth, we can add the bad water discharge, which takes a ton of material and a ton of science. So before we even get to that, we really need to unlock the number cruncher. I think that will really be the next thing that we're going to unlock, and then place it right here, making sure we have finally some automation going on. And the number cruncher can then turn on at night while we're not using the power for anything else. So it shouldn't actually interfere with our production, and we will free up all these beavers to do, well, more work for us. So I think not too bad, not too bad. Okay, food supply is dropping a little bit. I think I need to add another beaver into one of our farmhouses. Happiness has actually reached 18 now, which probably means the shower is in. Yes, it is. The average is still 17, but you know, that's good enough for me. And besides that, yeah, still doing overall good. Right, you're still on 0, you're on 0. You will be set to infinity. We still have 12 more days in this drought. I feel like there's more water evaporation going on in this one than in the previous one. But, you know, maybe it's just my imagination. Regardless, once that reservoir is in, we're in a much, much better shape again. Okay. What do we need to focus on next? Like I said, kind of nothing until we get up here for bad water. And that is actually something we could already plan for. If we remove you, replace you with a single floodgate. We can keep you on lowest level, just to make sure there's enough exit here. So each bad water source, well, without knowing what was placed on the map, but as a default, one bad water source has the same power as 3 water sources. So if that is the case here, one floodgate might be just enough without it tipping over. If it does tip over, our beavers are actually still okay, because it will just flow in here and then run out of this side, which is actually just fine. So maybe what we can do instead is go ahead, put the levee back in here. Or now set up a double floodgate, I guess, here. Or why not just triple? Once they build these, we can remove those blockages and then direct the bad water flow ourselves. Later on, these will just be open, so, you know, future worries. Future worries. Okay. Food supply still doing okay. I feel like it's going down a little bit. Not massively. Water supply, we're still fine. We're also still replenishing our beaver population, which is good. We could also, and should probably also, now unpause the gear workshop. And I will put in more temporary, smaller storage areas right here. Is it? Storage, small warehouses. What am I doing? Copy and paste. Not copy settings, duplicate. There we go. 4 of them that will allow us to store 120 gears, which will be enough for the number cruncher. What else do we need for the number cruncher? That is not the number cruncher. 15 metal parts. So I guess we could also unlock you already, or unpause you, not unlock. You can store 15 internally. So it would be nice to store some metal parts in here, just making sure they are being stored in these buildings. Yes, they are. So let's put another small storage solution in here. And for now, we're just placing, yeah, that's the wrong one. Small warehouse. Set you to the metal parts and then duplicate you right next to it. So this way we can preempt all the building materials that we need for the number cruncher once we have the science, and we're actually close to that. We don't want just the science for the number cruncher. We want to go immediately into the chronometer. Just need a bit more of the gears, so but we'll have plenty of that. And then we can finally do some automation in here, which I'm very excited. And again, similarly for the weather station, we do need the treated planks to get this done. And currently we're not producing tree sap anywhere. Yeah, I probably need to put an underground tree farm in once we want to get to that level. Shouldn't be too hard. We move over this way. We should be able to place that down, no problem. All right, 7.5 days left. Yeah, this does look like it's evaporating faster than it did in the previous round. Which also kind of makes me wonder if those 3 added levels, I guess it's 3 levels on top. And considering this hasn't actually sunk 3 levels in almost 20, no, how long was it? 13 days? With 3 extra levels, we should be able to handle the 30 days droughts. Hopefully pretty okay. Just gonna keep an eye on this, just to be on the safe side. Right, I'm just very excited that once they're done building this, that we can continue building this ridiculous levee, not levee system, platform system over here. But once it's running, I promise you it will look really good. Okay. We didn't actually need the ones back here. Did we? I think it's fine. Probably need to replace these bits of soil with levees as well. as to not have the bad water contaminate our good water area right here. So yeah, don't want that to happen. But other than that, should be okay. Good. The reservoir is done. Well, it is about time, because it's been going for a while. Just as sad, you see our beavers running over here, continuing with the platforms. Some are hungry, some are thirsty. Just go and get a drink, guys. However, we do have now enough of the science to unlock the number cruncher. We don't have quite the material yet. I'll still place it down, and I completely forgot that this is a 4x4 building and not a 3x4. Excellent. We could actually make good use of this space if we're removing those two connections and replace you with the number cruncher. Alright, in that case we're actually going to wait until the drought ended, so we can pause our engine and then disconnect the engine and place the proper connection in here. I'm also going to add another platform here because I would like the automation piece, the chronometer, to then go just on top of this. Don't quite know how you connect them up, but I'm assuming as soon as I place them, I will figure it out. Oh, look at that. Happiness has gone even higher. Well, I guess now they have some extra time to, you know, just chill and do some fun things. Right. I'm actually too curious, so let's unlock the chronometer. Place you down here. I will have you face, I guess, into the tree. Now they can build that. Oh, time range, that's good. Working hours, non-working hours. Well, that's easy. And I'm assuming that once this is in place, it will connect directly to the building that is next to it. I would hope so, at least. Also unpause another lumber mill, because we are getting lower and lower in terms of the planks, and with this, we just need as many planks as we can get. Right, I'm also gonna prioritize the small tank over here with our haulers, just so we can keep this stocked and our steam engine doesn't run out of stuff. Because that is in part the lifeblood of our food supply. Speaking of, I will actually pause a breeding pod after all. Automate. Chisel. Wait, what? Oh, you're called Chisel. Okay. Let's call you off hours. So I guess that's how it works. You pick a building, and then the new button automate is popping up, and then you just assign it to whichever automation building you kind of need or you want it to connect to. I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay. This is coming along. Still waiting to get a little bit closer to the 100 gears that we need. Storage for 120. Output is 8, I guess, per day. That doesn't track. It would be 8 in 24 hours, but we're not working 24 hours. Would probably be good to get some of this run by bots instead of beavers. But that's a whole different level of infrastructure commitment that I'm not yet willing to do. Oh, no, we need more metal pieces as well. Oh no, we actually do have 50. And we need, I think, exactly 50, right? We need 50. Okay, now we have 51. Fair enough, so I'll pause you. Get a bit more science in the meantime. Don't quite know why you would automate something to only work during work hours. Oh, I guess if you have an engine. That stops as soon as there is a pull on, like a loss of pull of power. So yeah, I don't quite know. Look at that though, we have one unemployed beaver. That is exciting. That hasn't happened in a while. That also means though we can unpause another industrial lumber mill, get our plank production even further up. And we have some beavers sleeping outside. Crazy. Okay, let's go ahead. Place a few more of the row houses down. Why would you automate row houses? I guess maybe with the oaktails, you have them reproduce. No. There's probably some use case. I just can't think of one yet. Right, anyways. We can also actually just make our way up here. Nope, this needs to be a double platform, not a triple yet. Placing a double platform here. Triple next to it, another triple next to that. Then we can add more staircases in. Here we go. Put a rooftop in the back. And once they have built all of that, we can put a rooftop terrace out the front. But how would we get a rooftop on top of the rooftop terrace? I guess you actually don't need one. And then we don't need another rooftop on top of the rooftop terrace here. Yeah. As long as we have 2 of those rooftop terraces, we should have enough to keep our beavers happy. So let's go ahead, because we now have the space. Go into well-being. Place down our rooftop terrace here. We have multi-level rooftop terraces for them to just chill and enjoy their pint with their mates. So I think they're going to appreciate that. The drought has ended. We're slowly filling this up. And as soon as the water tips over here, we will pause our steam engine and finally build our number cruncher. So that'll be quite good. Also made more progress over here. Still a long way to go, but, you know, production is going actually all right. No unemployed beavers right now. That will change very quickly, because once the number cruncher is in, I will remove all the science huts, or inventor huts, and then we're gonna place another builder hut down and another hauling post on the lowest priority instead of the science huts. But getting a few more builders in, I think, will be very beneficial. All right, 1 unemployed beaver. Good for you. Man, that's taken a while. Let's actually have a look more in the automation. So if we have the weather station, I think that will be good, because then we can open this one when the regular season is happening. Actually, just close this one when the bad tide is happening. I think there was also a negator in there. Speaker, firework launcher, detonator, timer, memory. Maybe it's the memory bit? Not entirely sure what these two do. Unlock once for all settlements. Resource counter, weather station, contamination sensor, that could kind of work as well. Flow sensor. Yeah, it must be the memory thing. Alright, I am glad to see that another bad tide is approaching. Now, that will not give us a lot of time to build our number cruncher, but I'm really hoping we don't need a lot of time. And maybe we should actually just place the number cruncher down right now, so it's all ready to go. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. Highest priority on this pickup, please. And then we're unlocking the number cruncher. Placing you right here, 1500 science, highest priority on that. And we're gonna automate it based on the off hours. Here we go. Good. And now actually the regular power is coming in, so I can pause the steam engine. Which once we have the weather automator, we can also just say turn on during a, or maybe just turn off during a regular season. Oh, but do we want that? I think we need like a depth measure for this one. Anyways, lots of flooding. All balanced out, good. We're running a little bit low in terms of food supply, so it is time to actually set more beavers back into the farms, just to be on the safe side. And they are happily building all of that. Very nice. And then I'm excited to see how our automation is actually working. We've also made sure that our beavers have a happiness level of 20. Makes me think we should look into this. Come on, show me. 27. That's quite a bit to go. 22 for more walking speed, 25 for extra work speed. Walking speed could be not too bad. Do we have any easy wins for this? No, I think we placed all the happiness buildings in here. And the next thing would be well-being, like the exercise plaza, the detailer, motivatorium, the mud bath. I did like the picture that I took, the screenshot that I took, that I used for this stream as a thumbnail. It'll also be the thumbnail for the next Ironteeth episode of the usual Saturday videos. Because I just built the mud baths there and they looked so chill in there. Alright, can you guys please finish that? 9 more gears to go. Oh, we're actually a little bit out of gears. Not just a little bit. We're absolutely out of gears. Okay, that won't happen before the bad tide hits. Maybe just about before the bad tide hits. Let me have them do another 24-hour shift, because we need to have that power connection back in through there. Will it actually be then fully connected? It should be. Oh, it still is? No, this is power from elsewhere. And I'm not talking about the Skyrim Elder Scrolls place but, you know, elsewhere. Alright, I'm gonna raise this. Wait until this fills up a little bit more. Okay, that's plenty. And then we're turning off the water, raising this to the fullest level, lowering this to the lowest, and then we're resuming this, turning the water back on, see how bad it is in terms of flooding. Not at all. I appreciate that. And then we can turn on the bad water pump right now, which will allow us to create more explosives. Okay, the number cruncher is in and is automated. Awesome. Why are you all paused? No, you are all paused because you should be paused. Alright, let's turn on the steam engine. And we do have the power connection still. Nice. Which means we can now remove all of our inventor huts. And place down the important one hauler post and then one builder post right there. This is, yep, 4 workers is fine. Workplace priority, the lowest that we can possibly have. And then I want you guys to prioritize building both of these. All right, setting the work hours back to 16. I'm thrilled to see if this is gonna work. I really hope so. Okay, both of these buildings are also in. Awesome. Come on, turn on. Yes, perfect. So now we're producing not quite 10 science per hour, but that should completely get rid of our dependency on the inventor huts. And we're overall, again, in a much, much better state. So, what else do we need to unlock and do? I think maybe it is time we're looking into getting the, what's it called? The pine tree sap. The resin. Of course it's called resin. So how should we do that? I mean, what we could do is unlock, and we do have the triple platform already unlocked. So if we place you here, and then add another triple platform over there, that gives us some additional space to build some more buildings on top. It won't quite work, because we won't, no, we don't need staircase up here, because we can do this. Add this up there, perfect. And then add a bit more path in there. Go into the wood production, Tapper Shack. Excellent. Yep, unlock this for 500 science. And then we just need to make sure that we'll keep some of these trees alive. And I think that might already be enough, not to continuously produce pine resin, but, you know, starting point. Absolutely a good starting point. I also should unpause the explosive factory. Bad water is being stored. Awesome. Overall, going okay. Do we need gears for this one? We do. 10. We have 10. So I could actually pause the gear workshop again. What else do we need? Planks and logs. We do have plenty of those. Let's actually fill up a few gears so we have some in storage. In the meantime, this is coming along really nicely. Thinking as well. I'm gonna set you up to have up to 10 people in here. And it might be worthwhile moving these lumberjacks potentially over this way. Or we could place them up. Get them out of the way. Just thinking that we could make a bit more space right here for another builder's hut. Although that might not be quite necessary. Alright. Explosives are coming back in. So let's have a look underneath how this is going. Apparently not that well. I know why. Go back to the top. They're first finishing all of this, which makes a ton of sense. So maybe we should also now consider turning this area into mangrove trees. Or mangrove tree territory. Easy enough to do. There we go. Yeah, and I think that should kind of get us to where we need to be. All right. All of them are actually working. The fermenters are doing okay. Oh, we do have 52 beavers, and that's why we're running a little bit low in terms of food. Do we need to sort anything else out? I think the next food bit, we just need to make sure they are prioritizing going underground. And in order to do that, well, I should actually set this to the highest priority. Go. Highest priority on all of this. Well, didn't quite catch for all of this. There we go. Then we're going to make sure that we have a path that goes in here as well. This front area here will be fully just pathed out until I guess here, and the rest will then be areas to be utilized for farmland. And I should also be able to make sure we're freeing up the resources that we're using for these platforms. Looking good. And I'm pretty sure this should not collapse. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. Right, they're now prioritizing everything underground, which again makes sense. I will also need to unpause the centrifuge because we will need more extract to build these tunnels. Because otherwise all of that will get stuck pretty fast. I'd remove you. You. I guess we could just wait until they're fully done down here. Yeah. Might be worthwhile. Right, how is our population doing? We do have 3 optional hauling post people in here. Can we actually pause anyone else? Do need some metal blocks though, so I'm actually gonna unpause the smelter. Reason why I talked about unpausing, pausing someone is so we could actually add another builder's hut in here. Now look at that. Could actually place you here and then add both lumberjacks on this side. Let's have a look at that. The reach is pretty decent. Actually, you can be rotated. So your reach increases a bit more. Excellent. And with those 2 in, let's actually set you on the highest priority, both of you. I guess I'm pausing one of them. But we can now remove those 2 lumberjacks and have another space for a potential builder's hut right there. Need you to be on a lower priority. We've now lost all the haulers in here. That I guess makes sense. Okay, also 1 lower priority for you, and no, you're already good. Okay, I think all of that is coming along nicely. And sort of the underground. Look, it's even watered already. How crazy is that? That makes me think there must be an optimal placement of these underground farms next to the river outcrops that you already have. Alright, I do want them to focus on this one, because over here, let's have a look. If we were to plant soybeans under here, it is actually not tall enough. Okay, that is good to know. So let me go ahead and put one more dynamite down here. A single one, just to test it out. Set you on the highest priority. It's really stuttering when I'm under here. Not entirely sure why. Which actually means I don't need you to high prioritize this. I didn't need to go to normal priority. Slightly higher is still fine. Bad tide, another 4.4 days. It is kind of nice to not have to worry about the water supply on top with the reservoir that we have going. Come on, stop sleeping. Okay, they've placed down the dynamite. Just need to finish building it. Of course, always takes a while. Go. Detonate. And then let's see if we can actually place our soybeans. We can place them here. And that, I think, should be true for any of the plants. Yeah. Let's also have me do a quick check, because I've never built an underground thing like this. Okay, trees actually need, except for the mangroves. Ooh, and the birch trees. They only need 2 high, whereas pine trees are 3 high, and so are oak trees. Coffee bushes, they actually can only need 1 level height. And I'm assuming same with blueberry bushes. Okay. Okay. So, next thing that I want to check out as well. I don't think it tells me for the farming house. But I'm hoping that just 1 layer above, meaning actually going 1 layer down over here, will be enough for me to place down the farmhouse completely. Wow, but we're running out of planks real fast. So maybe it is time to pause our gear workshop, because I'd rather have them focus on the underground farm and then all of this, rather than anything else. Alright, the bad water tank is almost full. So I think we're also temporarily placing down another medium tank, 20 gears. That we can absolutely deal with. I guess why not here? Set you up to, for now, do bad water. And then later on, we're going to replace that with coffee. It's good flavor. Added flavor, obviously. All right. I like the automation of the science. It doesn't give us... Wait. Power input? 400, there we are. It does give us a decent amount of science at night. Well, the nighttime is 8 hours, so in theory we should get 80, but we're only working at 80%. So we're getting 8 science, so 64 science a night. Yeah, that sounds about right. So not the most science, but it is a constant trickle. And we could actually replace this with something else. Well, at some point. Like, not replace it with something else, but add another number cruncher there. especially during the regular season. I kind of would want this one to be always on. So if we wanted to do that, I think we need to go into the memory bit. 1,000 science to unlock. Crazy. Let's focus instead. Well, that didn't quite work out as I expected. Oh look, we have another science hut here. Which means I can actually remove you and place you instead over this way. So you have a much better reach for getting to all the pine trees down here. Add one more pine tree to the front. And we might just expand over here later with additional storage. But you know, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. All right. Let's have another look underground. Oh, actually, hold on. This is... okay. This is coming along. This one's full. So we get a bit more extra bad water storage before the bad tide ends. And that, I think, will be very useful for us to have. Food supply is actually really dwindling, though. And that absolutely tells me underground farm or this area. In the underground farm, we're not only exploding this away, we also need to go one level underneath. So I think the mangroves at the top make a ton more sense. But only after I placed an additional 4 dynamite pieces in here so I can make sure our farmhouse has the appropriate height down there to then, you know, be placed ultimately. Right. We're gonna add the priority to this one. Should also free up the top here to add a few more pine trees down, which I think will be also quite nice to have. Also going to prioritize you by haulers now. We do have 1 extra hauler. That's totally enough. Let me go in here in the priority list, set you guys on normal priority. You as well. This can still be the highest priority, but then I can go up here and set you on 1 slightly higher priority instead. So we can make sure that the ones underground will be built first. Right. As soon as the bad tide ends, we need to manually go in here and change the height of that as soon as it turns blue. Of course, it's nighttime, so it's hard to see, because why wouldn't it be? And there we go, already blue. We're building up pressure, excellent. Not a big deal. Okay. And then I'm also going to have a look at how much power we're actually producing once the water overflows here and starts spinning all, well, the 4 water wheels we have. I know it's not a ton, but maybe it's enough. Still producing a ton of extract. Should try to figure out a better way of creating more storage area back here. And maybe we could actually replace this fermenter here with the one over there, so we get a little bit more space. Fermenter, there we go. Food supply is dangerously low though. So that didn't last too long. Right, this is coming along. I will remove you already. We can remove this power shaft here. And then we can think about how to, well, utilize... Maybe we'll actually just put a staircase up here. Because then we have a bit more space there to build stuff. I'm not going to use platforms anymore. But we do have a decent amount of logs, so we can build more levees up here. And actually just one more levee over there. Put down a path. And that should help us create additional space for storage. Okay, one more platform. That's it. Because this way we can put a medium warehouse here. Store some explosives. There you are. And then we're putting a medium tank here to store some extract. You're hungry. Flooding has happened again. It's to be expected, but we are super low on food. What can we do temporarily? I guess the best thing to move forward to get this done, because we'll also end up with not having as many baby beavers anymore, is temporarily increase our cassava planting over here. That was quickly done, which hopefully will help us get the food storage back up to a level that we actually need. Whoa, 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 whoa. I forgot to open this. There we go. Well, everything was just unemployed. Food production still worked, so I guess that's good. Why are you just hanging out here? He's so hungry, he's just waiting to get in and get some food. Okay. Also, forgot to turn off the steam engine. Let's do that now. 590 power supply. During the day, I'm curious how much we'll actually need. Demand is 675. I mean, we could pause one of our industrial lumber mills. Oh, we should pause our smelter. He does not need to be on. And I guess actually still pausing one of our lumber mills would be good, because then we're much better balance, power balance. Although honestly, it's okay. 80% productivity. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Food supply actually getting a little bit better again. We didn't go all the way to 0. So I guess that's a start. And they're still slowly building this up while they're using all of our planks to get over here. Good. Not gonna prioritize you by haulers anymore. Don't need to. Need to keep an eye on this guy. Is there even bad water still left in there? Yeah, you are kind of producing, but at a stunningly slow pace. Alright, I think that's it for you. How is the rest coming along? Well, there's not much else going on. I guess we are trying to build this. Do we not have any gears left? What do we use the gears for? I don't remember. So let's turn our gear workshop back on for a little bit. So we can at least build this medium tank and get a bunch of extract going. Although I guess the biggest thing that we need is the bad water for like the foot from the bad water is for the explosives. All right. Anyways. Keeping an eye out for here. I'm excited when this is done, because that's a massive drain on our resources, but the benefit of this will be just as massive. And that's how it kind of should be. I guess we could also already start building up levees here for them to keep working. Yeah, I don't quite need to. However, this part there is almost ready to be freed up, and then we can finally put down some mangrove trees. We have our gatherer here. If we actually place the gatherer flag over this way, it actually covers all of... Wait, why is it flooding? It actually covers all of the berry trees, berry bushes as well. Which tells me this, again, better space for that to be in. And with that over here, a single staircase shouldn't actually be that much of a drain in terms of reach. So should be all right. Right. Once it reaches 0.1, I'm gonna close this up, get a little bit more extra water. Oh, it's already at 0.1. Get a little bit more extra water in here. That is basically nothing. So I guess next time I'll start at 0.2. And steam engine back on. Really important that very soon we'll automate this, because I'm a bit tired of doing this manually. But speaking of, all we need really is the wood workshop. We do have the science. We don't quite have the material yet, but we're kind of close. And if we go ahead and oh, we can actually place you here. If we replace you with a vertical power shaft, we should have an easy time feeding this in. So let me go ahead and demolish you, quickly increasing the work hours, and then add the vertical power shaft on top of this, highest priority, regular power shaft right next. Guess I didn't need that. I didn't know that connected on the second level too. Oh. Alright, I'll take it. Then we can put in our treated plank facility right there. Why aren't you guys building this? Maybe it was too late in the day for me to extend the work times. Don't build this, guys. Wait, why can't I click on it? Okay, let's go a few layers down. See what the situation is. We need a gear. Let me guess, we're fully out of gears. Alright. Almost. But this will give us the gear to connect this up, and then all of this is working again, and so on and so on. So I think it makes a ton more sense. Everyone is starving. Nobody has died of food, lack of food yet, so that's at least something. And this... Oh, no, 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 no! Ah! Ah! Dude! Preston! The hell, man? Ah. Beavers, I swear. Crazy bunch. Alright. Can now put in the mangroves here. Have a quick look at our forester. He is not well, I guess the staircase is not in yet. Once the staircase is in, the forester should actually reach all of this down here. I'll have another death wave just because of hunger. Print up the t-shirts. Incident? Hey, close, but he did survive. He did survive. But yeah, creating t-shirts, well, not quite yet. Not yet. But it was a very close call. A bit too close for my taste. All right. And of course, our lumber forester can't actually reach this. Because I guess why would he? How can we temporarily increase that? I guess if I place a staircase down there. Yeah, not this one. If I place a staircase down here. Maybe that would do the trick? No, now he reaches further. How? I guess we could also utilize the one up here a bit more. Okay, let's remove this. Shoot. I thought I had the staircase selected. Oh man, maybe it is time for me to really take a break. Okay, we're removing this staircase now. And placing one down here. In the hope that this guy can help out a little bit. Not a lot. Yeah, that doesn't quite get the trick done. What if we're actually making a bit more space here? Because if we place a staircase right there, they might be able to reach it a little bit better. And it does seem like we don't really need the extra logs at the moment. That beaver, it really took it out of me. All right, anyone? No one has died of hunger yet. And the cassavas actually are coming in. Maybe it will be okay. I doubt it a little bit, but you never know. Kind of also makes me think removing this water tank again. This was probably not a good place to put it down. And that actually frees up a bit more space here. For now, let's see how far the forester reaches. With that, almost everything. What about this one? Not quite. I kind of want the last bits over here as well. So what if we actually just temporarily remove you, place down another forester right there. Highest priority, not for the workplace, just for that. We can then fill all of this up with the mangroves. And once they are planted, we can remove this guy again and, you know, get in a bit of a better shape. And then we fill in the rest behind here with cassavas, which I can already set up. Okay, you are stranded now. Of course you are, but, you know, that's on me. Unfortunately, I'll keep you stranded for a little bit. Until Graham has finally decided to plant all the mangroves. Should probably just prioritize the mangroves. Here we go. Ah, come on, don't... Beavers. Alright, how about we place a staircase back here? That will allow us to place also a few more trees down over this way. Maybe we'll actually carve out this area for coffee instead of utilizing this part right there. If we... Because if we're placing our gather flag here, okay, every mangrove has been planted, so I can destroy you, and you can finally go and get something to eat and something to drink. Oh, you know where the gather flag actually needs to go? Will you be able to reach this part here for mangroves? Come on, mate, I believe in you. And of course not. Oh man, what are the chances? Alright. Oh, but if I place the gather flag here, he still reaches all the berries? Okay, good. Highest priority, we can remove the gather flag from here. Could also now remove that small warehouse right there. Place you back here. Maybe, actually. Let's do that. Free up a bit of space at the front here to have 2 more berry bushes. Not that this is really going to make the difference, but, you know, every bit helps. And then the rest back here, like I said before, more cassavas. Well, we do have 57 beavers running around. Crazy. You're built, but you don't have a path. Sorry about that. Let me fix that for you. There we go. Now we are producing some treated planks, and we can finally move on to building some weather-based automation. Kind of would like you to be somewhere up top. For no particular reason, except for, well, I think it makes sense. Let's build you up here. I forgot what the reach of these is, or if it actually has a reach. It might not. Okay, if we prioritize this and then place down, where is it? The weather station right here. Temperate weather, drought, and bad tide. Okay, temperate weather. How would I... we'll see once it's built. And I should be able to set this to off, right? Oh no, actually, this just says temperate weather, and then I can set it to on or off during temperate weather. So we need another weather station, which means I'm not just gonna place you here. We're going to extend this a little bit over to this side. And then we have one for bad water. Yeah, one for bad water, off. But we need so many of these. Alright. Nope, not you. Weather station. Here we go. I can place one of you here. Makes me actually kind of wonder if we should... Let's actually remove you. We don't need to have you all the way out here. So if we're turning you into a 2-level high platform and then put down our 3-level overhang, we can put one weather station here, one here, and one in the middle. At least I think so. Let's see if that is true. 1, 2, 3, perfect. Just in case we need 3, we'll start with the outer 2, and then we'll take it from there. Alright. Beavers are dying of old age, which I think is a happiness problem. You cannot be reached. Ah, bummer. If we temporarily remove the campfire... Yeah, let's do that. Shouldn't take too long to build this staircase. Highest priority on the staircase, good. Because once that is in, we can replace the campfire and increase the happiness again. And nobody has had any problems with that, I hope. Alright, remove the path now. Place the campfire. Yeah, sometimes I need to click through everything before I find what I want to do. And then let's have a look at this guy. He can reach everything. Awesome. So we can place down some oaks or some pine trees. Yes, some pine trees up here. Can any of the lumberjacks actually reach that far? Of course not. So let's put down... hold on, let me first check if you could reach it. You can actually reach it. Perfect. More pine trees down here. Maybe it is time now to replace all the pine trees with oaks. They do take longer to grow, but they do also contain more wood. Should I mess with the system that is working right now? I kind of know the answer, but, you know, it's always tempting to do. Alright, we're gonna work on you. You're gonna be good weather, and you're gonna be bad weather. Are you? Yeah. For now, at least. Right, I want you then... Yeah, we'll see once they've actually built this. And a bunch of our beavers just starved to death. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I might actually need to remove this up here, because it seems like we don't have a ton of cassavas. We don't have enough beavers to actually man the farmhouses to get this stuff done. Alright, so let's plan for another farmhouse. Gonna make a little bit of a, as per usual, a weird pathway system. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And then we should be able to... wait, does it make sense to actually have a farmhouse up here? Will you reach in the right direction? I guess that is the biggest question. Of course, it's nighttime because, yeah, just making it harder for me to see. No, maybe this doesn't make sense. Maybe we'll actually remove some of the cassavas after all. And if I select the right thing, wait. If we remove both of these, we can put down a staircase up here and then place a single farmhouse on top of this. Should hopefully be okay. Might need to move this a little bit to the side, but you know, future worries. We're short on planks. Of course we are. But yeah, I think right now we just need more beavers to work on the farmhouses. You are completely full. You still have, do you have some bad water left to do? Nope. We'll actually pause both of you then. Oh, but considering they were just hanging out, it tells me there is a bunch of... Why is it flooded? Oh, when the stuff tops over, it quickly fills up this entire area. Right, bottom line is there were a bunch of platforms down here. We can destroy them all and free up some essential planks that they can use then to finish up the staircases. Good. Now we have another farm to work on stuff. And this down here gives me enough space to try out. The farmhouse will actually fit in there. So we're kind of getting there. But at the same time, well, we don't have the bad water to actually do all of this. Why is there no power? Why are we out? Oh, we're out of water. Who all of it is hitting at once? All right, we do need more water pumps. So let's utilize the area up here, finally. Double platforms here. That might actually be a little bit too low. So emergency water pump. Right there. Highest priority, please. And this up here can then be built afterwards. And we're placing down a deep water pump right on top. That will also help. And maybe it's also time that we move our water pumps up here rather than trying to pump out the water that supplies our farms with what they need in order to work. So let me actually also put in another water pump here, because we need the water pump for the power, and we need the power to create the planks, and so on and so on. You know the drill. Still haven't finished this viaduct over here. Maybe we also need to slightly reconsider our priority. If we put all of this on normal priority, or even just one a little bit higher, we can finish this up and pump a bit more regular bad water out of this area right here, which I think will help us with our dynamite, which will help us make the underground farms, and that will help us not have... Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh. These beavers, I need you guys in the farmhouses and on the food production. I'm also going to high prioritize you and all the water. I guess 2 water pumps are enough now. Oh, rough. Very rough. Oh boy. But yeah, 2 water pumps and all of these beavers in the farmhouses should be plenty. And I want you actually, now let's set you to prioritize the kohlrabi. Our fermenters actually won't work because we don't have the power. Now we do. Wow, that is a domino effect. Ooh, I'm sorry, beavers. It was going so well. Apparently not. Apparently not. But anyways, we'll actually pause all of these for now. I guess we don't have any no, you're on normal priority. I will actually set you on highest priority because I want you guys to bring the water over here. And we'll high prioritize you as well. We still have 20 beavers. That is a good amount, even though they are now building all of this rather than trying to keep the colony alive. Oh, somebody actually died of thirst. And this is rough. Oh, yep. Need to print now a t-shirt with incidents. Of course there was an incident. No, we don't talk about the incident. I've watched enough RCE to know how this goes. Right, I also need to high prioritize our gathering flag. Because we also need to keep the breeding pods, or get the breeding pods back online. Ooh. Very easy to... You won't tell him? Thank you. Nah, go for it. Even though he doesn't talk about the incident, I know it's happening. We all know it does. And, you know, we should have a support group. Timberborn Beaver Overlord support group for incidents. It is balancing out again, though. Yeah, look at that. 140 food, not enough water yet. So let me actually prioritize another water pump over here. You guys are on it. You guys are on it too. Let me also prioritize you. Ooh, and now we breathe. Oh man. Well, our colony population limit has hit a pretty significant hit in this episode, but you know, we're still going. And in my opinion, for the weirdest reason. Because I had this 4th breeding pod on for probably too long. Actually, yeah, does remind me. Let's put you back on. What could possibly go wrong? No, we're fine. We have plenty of food. Look at all the water we have. And with all that extra water, I'm going to normal prioritize those 2 water pumps again. Because 3 of these water pumps easily supply the water for all of the beavers that we currently have running around. So also you go on normal priority. Okay. Okay. I do want some builders though, so quick high priority on the normal one. I mean, we could now think about replacing these with the grown-up beaver pods. We do have the science. 5 treated planks. How many do we have? 0. Why do we have 0? I guess you never worked. This coming along. Oh, that's where our treated planks went into. Okay, okay. Big stretch now. That's what happens, I think, when you focus too intensely on a specific building project and keep losing track of your overall numbers. Do the sirens. Actually, we do have a speaker in here. If we connect the speaker to a resource counter, would we be able to send out an audible signal that tells us we're running out of food? I wonder. Or out of water. All right, drought ended. This will fill back up. That also means we can very soon pause again the steam engine. For the steam engine, we actually would want to create a little depth measurement. Let's have a quick look at that. Depth sensor, flow sensor. We could actually just set up a flow sensor. Probably just like this. 100 science points, let's give it a try. 4 planks, 4 gears. 6 planks, 4 gears. Of course, we're not producing any. So let's unpause. Do we have gears? We do not have gears. Okay, let's unpause both of these. At least we're getting some of the planks in. 16 beavers. I guess I can set you guys back on normal priority, because with this amount of beavers, our kohlrabi production should be fine. One of you is actually still running, so that's not bad. Let actually you down to 1. Quickly set you on a higher priority and then back on normal. So we're producing what we need to get this flow sensor going. At least this way I get to try out another automation thing, which I think will be quite nice. All right, if the flow measure is above, I guess that is plenty. Then we want to turn off the steam engine. Because that means, whoops. Because that means there is water flowing underneath here. Yeah, look at that. It is. Yeah. I think that will be, like I said, good enough. Right. I'm not gonna stop the steam engine until this, what should we call this? Reservoir overflow sensor. Oh, I should call this ROS. Wait. Sensor. Oh, man. I should absolutely call this ROS. Okay, I need someone to please make some gears. At least Brock grew up now, so that's good. We're getting some beavers in the colony again. Still a bummer. Oh boy. All right, But yeah, a threshold of 0.2 should be plenty. Actually, we could also raise this a little bit. 0.4. 0.3. Yeah, doesn't really matter. You are on the highest priority. We are producing the gears that we need in order to build you. I was hoping you guys would be building this a little bit faster. Oh, look at that. Our mangroves are coming in as well. 16. I don't know why this number always shows up everywhere. Wait, what construction is on a higher priority? Do we not have any? No, we do have some builders. Where are our gears going? If not, oh, they are going here. Okay, okay. Waiting a little bit longer. Again, and breathe. Okay, and they're also building over here already. And again, this will solve some of our bad water problems once all of this is in place. Should probably actually demolish this first. Set the area here on the slightly higher priority because we have all the logs. We can do that pretty quickly. Happiness is 21%, so that's not bad. Oh, look, the sensor is in. Okay, if the flow rate is above that, actually, if we're saying if it's below or equal that, we will, so you're currently off, okay, and we're setting you to the reservoir overflow sensor. So you're paused now. All right. And when the drought starts to hit, this turns on early. And I think that should just do the trick for us. All right, the next one that I want to get on, temporarily put you on the highest priority, and you're still on the highest priority. Pause the gear workshop. So many open work positions. Insane. And the majority of our industry area is actually paused. Crazy. Oh, you are on. So in temperate weather, should be able automate good weather. Okay, during good weather, when it's off, it's on 2. When it's on 0. Is that correct? It is correct. All right. You also, for good weather, if it's on, we set you to unlimited. If it's off, we set you to 0. Which tells me I don't actually need a second one to do this one, because we can set you to good weather. If it's good weather, your height should be 1. If it's not good weather, your height should be 0. So this means during a drought, this will open, but honestly, I don't care. Okay, so one sensor up here will actually be enough to do the full automation for us. So that's kind of nice. This is running because it's nighttime. We're getting enough power from this as well. Now I wish retroactively I would be able to remove these. Maybe in future run-throughs, I'll keep the building up the back area here, rather than that frontal part, because then we could technically put another water wheel in here. But for now, it's fine. Yeah. Definitely have enough power at the moment as it is. All right. A beaver is injured. 17 unstaffed buildings. Oh, all of our lumberjacks are actually out. Interesting. Okay, I think we're waiting until this one's full. Then we can pause. Actually, we're not waiting until this one's full. No need to wait. Here we go. Breed up another beaver. And I think that will mean I'll add at least one of the cassava people in, just so we get a bit more of the food benefit, happiness benefits from the cassava. Alright, obviously we also have way too many farmers currently on. I'm actually just set you on a normal priority, maybe slightly lower, and then normal. Gonna do the same one with this one. Good, that should free up a little bit of space as well. We also have now 4 builders again, and 2 haulers. Okay, things are bouncing back, slowly but steadily. This is coming along well though. And I think it is the top priority for them to build. Yeah, there we go. Already putting in more planks. I'd like to put another one of these back on. So let's do it. The drought has started. This turned on. Awesome. Because the flow went down. This is all the way up. Awesome. This back here should be all the way down. Is it? Yeah, it's in the off stage. It's all the way down. Good. So all of this is now fully automated and we don't need to worry about bad water, droughts, or anything anymore. Assuming we have enough water storage in here. But that's a very different question that we need to answer at different time. All right. So I think what we're gonna do now is actually just call this an episode. I only wanted to stream for about 3 hours, and I think that has happened. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for making this possible. 400 subscribers. I can't believe it has happened so quickly after the 300 as well. And maybe we'll continue this in episode 3 of a stream, or maybe I'll just plan another stream just for fun around it. Anyways, so again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for celebrating with me. And I hope to see you next time. All right, bye-bye.